Ladies and gentlemen, days and dams, welcome to Transitional Spaces with Tanay. Well, let's have a chat, just you and me. Transitional spaces where you wanna be. Here you can be free, spill tea, and never worry about no negativity. It's gonna be okay. Strong soldiers get tough battles every single day, but we gonna be alright. Cause one thing trans gonna do is put up a fight. You gotta know your rights. Make sure you feel good every day and every single night. Let's kiki, let's talk shit. Whether you're he, she, them, or that bitch. Good and bad, let's clock that tea. Here you can be you and I'ma be me. Let's kiki, let's talk shit. Whether you're he, she, them, or that bitch. Yes, transitional spaces, what? Transitional spaces, yes! Transitional spaces, welcome to Transitional Spaces. Yes, transitional spaces, what? Transitional spaces, yes! Transitional spaces, welcome to Transitional Spaces.
I am extremely excited about my first guest, Mr. Sean Coleman, aka the icon Sean Ebony. Hi, Sean.
Hey, Boo.
Explain where we are here today.
You are at Destination Tomorrow, the Bronx LGBTQ Center. This is the center I founded in 2009 because I did not see myself and my community reflected in some of those community-based organizations. So Destination Tomorrow prioritizes, it's not just Black and brown folks, but Black and brown folks who frequent the ballroom community.
I did not know that. Now, I understood that you were helping all the girls and guys, but I did not know that a lot of them are in the ballroom community.
What I wanted to do is I wanted to kind of shift the narrative. But a lot of those non-for-profits, they say they give back to community, but it was only to a certain extent, right? They may provide programs, and those were limited, but it wasn't necessarily job opportunities. And I wanted to show that there was a whole lot of talent and resources within our own community and nurture that talent and resources and hire them and bring them on to do community-based work. A lot of folks want to be advocates. We show you how to become an effective advocate.
Wow. And when did you know that you had to do this?
I still don't.
You still don't know it?
No, I don't think that I know that I had to do this. I knew that I had to lend my voice and then allow my voice to be used in whatever way was necessary, right? So it changes frequently. Sometimes it was about prioritizing the house and ballroom community. Other times it was about positioning the trans community to make sure that we had a seat at the table. And then other times it was about economic empowerment and making sure we had the tools that we needed to be successful. So the voice changes a lot. So I think I'm still learning.
I imagine that you get all kind of personalities. How are you able, to check Mr. Ebony at the door, help a community who has been, in many cases, extremely traumatized? How do you get your clients, to open up and explain to you what they need?
I think the first thing I want to say is, how do you check Mr. Ebony? He doesn't often get checked, right? But he shows up in different ways. Because Sean Ebony, through Ballroom, gave me the inspiration and the courage to be able to walk into any room and demand the things that we need, right? I got that from Ballroom. Because if I can stand in front of a bunch of shady judges to be judged on my realness, I can go before a mayor or a governor or whoever and tell them what my needs are. So that's the first part. I think the second part is a lot of prayer and meditation. Right?
Yeah.
Because I got to recognize that I'm dealing with folks like myself that have been through traumatic experiences, and that sometimes those traumatic experiences are what guide their thoughts and discussions and sometimes their anger. So managing the anger means that I have to recognize where it comes from. And I think we do a good job of that because we're a product of the ballroom community. We're a product of some of the same experiences, the same lived experiences that the community deals with. So I understand the frustration. Oftentimes I'll go into rooms and they'll ask me questions, and I'm saying, I'm taking off my CEO hat and I'm putting on my community member hat. And as a community member, you've done us a disservice by doing this, this, and this. And I think it resonates more because I speak about the lived experiences.
In this, in the new administration here, how are you finding, the way that you deliver for your clients?
I don't think it's necessarily changed for me. I think the world gets an opportunity to see what the community is up against. Yes. I think the messaging has always been the same. Some of those very same progressives that cap for us so loud don't get what it is that we need and don't prioritize our voices, right? And I'll give you an example. Like when you speak about all the executive orders that are coming out, you hear how they're pushing back against some. You don't hear necessarily the pushback around the EOs that impact the trans community, particularly Black trans folks. So I think they can do a better job at messaging what it is that we need.
I understand that now you're in Washington, D.C., Atlanta.
Getting folks on board with our formula, it happens because it's a formula that we all buy into, right? We all recognize where the gaps in services are. As a team, I'll come up with this brilliant idea. You know, I'm a Pisces. I come up with all kinds of ideas. I'll be waking up and it's like, oh, we're going to do. And then my team is like, wait a minute, we don't have the capacity back. Of course we do, right? And then it's to get the buy-in. And the buy-in comes because we'll say, well, our community is saying that they need housing. What does effective housing look like? What does a housing model look like? And then we started from there. We do housing on a few different levels. We have 2 migrant shelters that we run, one in Chinatown that houses 95 families and one in Queens that houses 150 families, right? Most people don't know that we don't just do LGBTQ work, we do work. And then we have housing in Brooklyn, Switch Housing. It's low barrier, smaller housing, 13 beds, but it's for those folks that are functioning in some capacity, right? They may be going to work, but they don't make enough right now to get their own space. So we give them the opportunity to stay with us free, and they work and go to school or whatever else. They save a portion of their income, and that hopefully will get them to housing in New York is expensive, so it may take a while, but it gets them to the next point. And I'm most proud of this because it's the first standalone shelter in partnership with Department of Homeless Services in New York City. 150 beds, single room shelters, single room occupancy. But that's not what I'm excited about. What I'm excited about is we do wraparound service. I love doing wraparound service. I get you in here, I'm going to give you everything you need. One of the biggest barriers to housing within that shelter system conventionally has been the security or those outside vendors. So now we're doing our own security. We're in the process of looking to hire a director of security. That director of security is going to come in and give us the entire blueprint. And then we're going to go back and do security certifications so that members of the community that want a career or in that field get an opportunity to come and get certified with us, and they can work with us.
And the girls have to feel secure.
And the girls have to feel secure.
Security.
We got you.
Anywho, I got some icons and an upcoming legend in my midst. Mr. Sean Coleman, Sean Ebony, Mr. Shady Prada, the icon, realness, and Mr. Danny the Don Gucci. How y'all doing?
Good.
Well, I have already spoken with Mr. Coleman. I would like to ask Mr. Prada over here, how did you get introduced into ballroom?
I was introduced to ballroom from walking down the street in Newark, New Jersey, because I'm from Jersey, and I met a pair of twins, Tyreek and Tariq Valentino, and they kept saying I was in Seton Hall playing basketball at the time, so I was out sneaker shopping, and they were like, "Oh, you want to come to our house?" I was like, "What? I don't do dudes. I don't come to houses or whatever." He said, "No, I want you to come over. If you know you could." He was like, "You a girl, right?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, you can walk this and that." I was like, "Okay." My ballroom career started with the Valentinos. I went to Chanel. In 94, Hollis Prada, truth of the matter, him and RR was bumping heads, and Hollis just thought it was time for him to open his own house.
Mr. Danny, the Don Gucci. Like, how is it that you can have a person who has been in a category for more than 5 years, dominating, but they're not a legend yet? And so, we'll talk more about that later. But you and your lovely wife, Lee Rose, have been dominating members of the House of Gorgeous Gucci. How did you get introduced into ballroom, Danny?
They were having a big ball at the Met outside. And me and my wife were just like, "Oh, let's check this out." So we went, and we saw Jack on the stage and stuff, and he was like, "If you ever want to hit me up, follow me on Instagram and stuff." So I had followed him on Instagram, and then I hit him up, and I was like, "Well, when's the next ball?" he was like, okay, come to this OTA, which I didn't know what OTA was or anything like that.
Open to all.
Open to all, yeah.
Mhm.
So we went to OTA. He's like, I'm opening up a house. He's like, I'm opening the house of Gorgeous Gucci. He's like, and you guys are my Jersey Shore. He's like, I need you in my house. So I'm like, what's a house? Like, what is all this? You know, like I was just enjoying watching, like, you know, people walk and like do all of that, but I really just didn't understand it, you know, and neither did Lee Rose. And then lo and behold, he had our first house meeting, and you know, he introduced me and Lee Rose, and you know, that weekend was the Mugler ball. It was like the porcelain ball, and that's where we had debuted. That's where we had debuted. I didn't walk, you know, Lola had came out, but that was like me and Lee Rose's first ball, and yeah, but that's how we were introduced to ballroom. So I, you know, I'm forever grateful to Jack for seeing something in us that we didn't see in like ourselves.
Oh, really? Who's Jack?
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, Jack's
We know Jack Nizza. You have had a long career in law enforcement. How was it transitioning on, you know, the job? How was that for you?
To be honest, it was really smooth for me.
Really?
I've never, and I work with, say, about 300 officers. We had 3,500 inmates, all male, staff and everything. So we're going to say an estimate of 4,000 people. It's been inmates in my jail that's been there for 10, 15 years. So they seen the transition with me.
Right.
You know, because if you know, once you transition, everything and everyone around you transitions with you.
Yeah.
So they watched the transition, and I had more respect. They was like, "Oh, little nigga got a beard now." They was like encouraging
Excited
it,
for you.
excited for me. They were like, "Oh," and everything made sense because my whole mentality was always male.
Yeah.
Even when I took the psychological test for correction, I had to take it 3 times. It was an 800 question because once the psychologist brought me down there, he was like, when he see me, he said, "Now this makes sense." I said, "What you talking about?" He said, "You answer these questions as a male did." So it was confusing with seeing my government. They were about to not give me the job, so they had to bring me down there to see me. So once you see me, he's like, "Okay, this makes sense now."
One of the things that is really important that I wanted to speak with you about is the road that you have been on to, you know, the recovery.
First God. First God. I wake up and I thank God every day that I have the decision now that I didn't have 10 years ago when I was really struggling to get sober, not to do that, you know, and no matter how hard something happens. I mean, my biggest triggers when I got sober was losing my parents. Now I'm like approaching my 10 years, which I'm like really proud of, but I do say God, you know, and I do appreciate all the support I got when I, you know, did get sober.
Mr. Coleman, how do you help, you know, your clients stay on the straight and narrow?
I think the most important part is being a supportive partner for them, right? We can't make you do anything. We can offer the support and the resources to help you once you've decided that that's what you want to do. But the ultimate decision has to be yours, that this is what you want to do with your life and for your life, and making sure that no matter what happens, we're there for you, right? Whether it's today or 10 years from now, that we're still that supportive partner for you, and then identifying what resources, if we don't have them, how we can connect you to the appropriate resources. But it always comes down to what the client wants, what the person wants. I'm going to meet you where you are.
Oh, God, I love that. Now, here's the part that I kind of love. I want to talk about the ballroom and the icons and the upcoming legend over here. I remember my first trophy, which it meant everything to me, only because I lost all 3 balls I walked in a row. I wasn't chopped, but I lost all 3 in a row. And then I finally won. And it was like everything. And I looked up at Avis and I was like, look. And she's like, I know, my little baby. I want to hear all your stories about the first trophy. Because everyone, you remember your first time.
Yeah.
Right? Don't you remember your first time?
Yeah.
I want to ask Mr. Coleman. You remember your first time?
Back in 1935. No. Oddly enough, I don't remember my first trophy. I remember the first time that I came out to walk, right? And I got recruited to be a LaBeija. So the House of LaBeija is my original house. right? And the Libations were having a ball at Trax on 19th Street, and I was a part of the Grand March.
That in 1990?
It was in the night.
I was at that ball.
She just dated me, but it's okay.
I was too.
But and I remember Keep on moving, don't stop. Oh, that was the song that we all came out to. That's the memory that I had, and the way that the crowd responded, and the way that we were hyping each other up, and it just felt like community, right? And it was just accepting space. Nobody in this space knew me, but they were all going up and cheering, and that feeling was what made me come back and want to walk.
Mr. Prada, I know you remember your first time.
Yes, it was a mini. We used to have mini balls. It was in a bar in Newark, New Jersey. I was kind of nervous, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, I walked with realness in one.
Danny Gucci.
My first ball actually was because it was around COVID. After the house had debuted, it was like COVID had hit. So they were like, "Oh, go on." There was a ball online. I think it was it wasn't Bigo. It was around the voting time. I know that. And
this was an online ball?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah. I think you were on the panel. I actually won. It was for realness. It was for realness. You had to come like as a politician, and it was me, and then I was against like 2 or 3 other people.
That voter gag,
gag, or something like that. Yeah, and I had won. That was my first ball that I walked and won. It was on Zoom.
This is the part that I'm gonna love. All 3 of you are all wifed up. Now, what is it with the trans, gentlemen?
I don't know, to be honest.
How long you been with Lee Rose? Hi, Lee Rose.
Hi, Lee Rose. Me and Lee Rose have been together 20 years. 20 years. So since before I transitioned, so I haven't been in that the game for a while. So I wouldn't know why.
Oh,
20 years.
I'm so envious of that.
20 years.
Okay, those are the goals.
I think it has more to do with stigma around relationships as it pertains to cis males or others that are trans attracted.
I see.
And I think that society puts this stigma on males that will make them believe that if they are attracted to trans women, that somehow that makes them inferior or they are less of a man. So they don't actually get an opportunity to love out loud. There's no doubt that there are many men that are attracted to trans women. Yeah. They just don't have the heart to come out and openly identify with who it is that they love and want to be with. So I think it's a societal issue.
Mr. Prada, you have been with the lovely, beautiful Miss Garçon, Miss Miranda, baby Garçon. What's your formula?
Baby came to me.
Did she?
I've seen Baby for 30 years.
Yeah.
And you got to keep in mind, she's cisgender, never been gay or whatever. She just came to me, and I'm like, and at first I told her, I was like, baby, get out of here. You married? Or she's like, I was like, get out of here, miss. So I pushed her off for about a year, almost 6 months. And then I circled back around. And she was like, I said, you still married? I said, you still married or whatever? Because I thought she was calling me to walk a ball or something because I'm nowhere from ballroom. So I was like, which one to walk a ball?
You got a call, like on the phone call.
Well, I think it was Facebook or whatever.
Okay.
She slid in your DMs?
Yeah.
In the DMs. Okay. All right, baby. I see you.
And don't kill me for telling the story.
So as we begin, to close here, first, I want to thank all of you. You, Sean, you, Shady, and you, Danny. I want to thank you. So I want to bring it all around again over into the ballroom, right?
Ballroom welcomes everyone. In my experience as a white trans man, I'm very grateful to hold space with the Black community. So that's something that I'm very grateful for. And thank you for seeing me. But ballroom does see you. And you're not alone.
Wow.
I would tell everyone to make wise decisions. Be strong, not even on the ballroom floor, but off. Know who you're dealing with. Don't be a leader. Don't follow everything. Don't be scared to ask questions. Don't feed into everything or try to do everything that everybody else is doing. Have your own mind. Try to find the positive people and have discussions with them. Get to know your elders that was in ballroom before you and get the history and the real history or their intake on what they seen in history. We all been here 30 plus years or 30 years, and we all have so many different stories that's very amazing. Trust people that you know.
All of those new kids that are voguing, stop slamming your body on that hard ass concrete. No. Oh shit. I'm gonna echo what Danny and Shady said, but I'm also gonna say to take advantage of this as an opportunity, right? Ballroom is an amazing space to not just compete, but to network and to understand. Like it allowed me to develop into the man that you see before you. Don't miss that opportunity to like grow into the person that you're meant to be and doing the things that you're meant to do. Ballroom is amazing movement building space, I love to say, right? But it's going to take you younger folks that can come into ballroom and rediscover and redesign it. When we first started doing ballroom, it was out of a place of necessity, right? We wanted a safe space, a safe affirming space where we can just go back and kick back and enjoy ourselves and have a nice time. Now ballroom has a whole nother it could possibly have a whole nother agenda where it's an organizing space, where it's a networking space, where we can develop policy. I want you to see outside of what ballroom is by using ballroom, if that makes sense. And then, of course, to have fun, right?
And now again, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining me here today. You know, I made the call and you guys, you answered, all of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Hello, I'm Tanay. And I want to thank you for watching Transitional Spaces.